From the Detroit Free Press, in the heart of the Motor City, it's Friday, May 15th. Here are today's top stories, presented by Bush's Fresh Food Market. Calling all foodies, Bush's is hiring. Are you passionate about food, looking for growth, development, and excellent wages? Come grow with Bush's and apply online at bush's.com/join-our-team. That's Bush's, BUSCHS.com/join-our-team.
For the Detroit Free Press, this is Joe Guillen. A few hundred people gathered outside Michigan's Capitol building on Thursday to protest the governor's stay-at-home order, which has closed thousands of businesses across the state. Officials braced for a combustible atmosphere at the rally, but the crowd was mostly peaceful. Police said there were no injuries or arrests, just one brief altercation that ended with one man leaving his axe with authorities. Governor Gretchen Whitmer's prolonged order has angered residents who want the economy restarted. Some at the rally said the coronavirus is being blown out of proportion. Others decried Whitmer as a tyrant. The crowd cheered in unison when one speaker promised to recall the governor once the quarantine is over.
For the Detroit Free Press, I'm opinion writer Nancy Kaffer, and I'm here to tell you that it is official. Detroit students have the right to read. On Thursday, Governor Gretchen Whitmer settled a lawsuit brought by 7 former Detroit students who say conditions in their schools meant they couldn't attain literacy. The students argued that literacy is a constitutional right, and last month a federal court agreed, saying literacy is a foundation of democracy. In settling the suit, Whitmer agreed to immediately spend $2.7 million on literacy in Detroit schools and to ask the legislature for $94 million more. But the Republican leaders of the current legislature may not go for this. But that doesn't mean there's no hope. In 2022, Michiganders will elect a legislature from new maps drawn by a bipartisan redistricting commission, maps that aren't gerrymandered to seat more Republicans than Democrats. These new Democratic lawmakers may be more friendly to Detroit school children's woes. What all of this means is that it's likely Detroit kids will have to wait again. But now there's a precedent, and it's a big deal. Literacy is a constitutional right, and that right has been denied to Detroit kids. It's up to the state to make it right. 2022 would work, but now would be great.
For the Detroit Free Press, I'm Meredith Spellring. While many people pulled out their cameras to film the Blue Angels flyover of Detroit on Tuesday, one camera came dangerously close to the Navy aircraft. A video posted to social media showed drone footage of the flyover performance, including one shot at the end of the more than 1 minute long video where the camera was extremely close up to the Blue Angels. The U.S. Federal Aviation Administration requires commercial drone pilots to be licensed. The FAA requires drone operators to not fly the devices in a careless or reckless manner. For more information on the Blue Angels flyover, head to freep.com.
This is Free Press Sports Editor Chris Thomas. Matthew Stafford is raring to get back to football. And while it's unclear when exactly that will happen, Stafford says he's ready to do his part to keep everyone safe as possible.
I'm honestly making conscious efforts, trying not to lick my fingers, before I get the ball or throw it. All those kind of things are things that I would have never thought I would have had to think about, but at the moment am, and making sure that we just try to, just limit our contact.
All licks aside, Stafford has endured a turbulent past 2 seasons as the Lions' starting quarterback. He had a fractured transverse process in his back that limited his movement. Then his wife had brain surgery. He broke more bones in his back and was shut down the final half of last season. Now, after an offseason of trade rumors, he's adjusting to life in a pandemic like everyone else. This is how Stafford explains his latest change.
As far as the way I feel about my body, I feel great. I'm not worried about going out there and playing. If we could put the pads on today and go play, I would do it. Every time we go play football, there's a risk, especially when you put your pads on and go hit. So, but I'm excited. I'm hoping that, everything goes as safe and as smooth as it can this offseason. And we're allowed back in at some point as long as that's safe.
Stafford says he doesn't want to put undue risk on any fans. But if football can happen this fall, well, the Lions veteran quarterback says he's raring to go. After all, he's still chasing that elusive first playoff victory.
I'm going into year 12. It's crazy to say. It's I don't think I'm playing for 25. So I would say that at least the halfway point, we're there. I definitely I want to win. That's the biggest thing for me. And as far as being demanding, I'm going to be myself. I feel like I'm a demanding person and quarterback. Those guys know what to expect, from me, and I know what I, need to have out of them for us to be a successful team. So we got to do that on a more consistent basis.
And after the Lions' subpar finish in 2019, Stafford, entering the twilight of his career, still has something to prove.
For more stories from the Detroit Free Press, be sure to check out freep.com. That's FREEP.com. And sign up for the Daily Briefing newsletter. See you on Monday.